Hello, we are Team 7, and our project is a decentralized autonomous organization for vehicle sharing. So, we started by identifying a problem, and at the moment, there are a lot of problems in cities in terms of parking and congestion. We saw that in Morris in 2016, owned cars are parked 95% of the time. This means that's a high cost of ownership of individual cars because you pay the car, the insurance, everything, but then 95% of the time you are not using it. Besides that, pollution from car exhausts, tire wear, and the infrastructure expansion costs. So, what's the issues to resolve? There's then the lack of a system to trust any person who wants to use the car, a resolve access to cars and tracking if non-autonomous vehicles, and the lack of mechanism for a fair and cheap pricing for usage. They are gonna use blockchain for this, as I explained previously. So, our solution is a blockchain based mobility, peer to peer transaction between the car owner and the person that's gonna use the car. It's gonna be a permissioned blockchain to expedite transaction times. It's gonna generate a second source of income to the vehicle owner, and this reduces the cost of using companies like Uber, Lyft, or even taxi. So, our business proposal is a decentralized autonomous organization for vehicle sharing. It's going to be implemented on a permission blockchain. So, our business model blockchain is creates an organization with the team members as initial owners. Ownership by addition to the network. If you add the car to the network, you gain some ownership as well. Initial launch with the DAO owned vehicles, so we would provide the vehicles in the first stage. Then people can start adding their vehicle as well to the network and remove them in case they are not happy with the service. There's a dynamic ownership on this DAO based on the percentage of owned car time used by the network. Removal of car removes the ownership. The rides are held through an app by authorized and verified members of the network, as I said, using the online identity. And the rides are paid by fiat currency, equivalent tokens with cost calculated per actual use. Members are verified before being added to the network. Verification is through digital ID solutions that we will need to partner with a provider of an online identity, but we're gonna discuss that later. Ownership in DAO through contribution of vehicle or investment in the DAO. Linkage of payment method and fiat currency. Addition of conventional vehicle through installation of tracking and access solution. So, peer-to-peer transactions for vehicle usage governed by smart contracts. The tracking of the vehicles and usage is recorded on the blockchain as well, so we know exactly who has the vehicle and how the time they are using, etc. And the driver's records are updated in real time with online identity. So our customers are going to be metropolitan areas, residents, visitors, owners of the cars within the area of service, with lots of parked car time. Customers are also members of the network and potential DAO owners. As resources, we need some vehicles owned by us. As I said in the first stage, we are going to provide the vehicles. Then the smart contracts for this mobility solution, and some legal and development experts hired based on the DAO rules. In terms of activities, development and maintenance of the blockchain, partnership building, increasing the network size and vehicle pool through incentives, so more people add their car to the network. vehicle pool management, and installation of tracking and access solution to vehicles. In terms of our cost structure, operational costs, as the network maintenance costs, the vehicle maintenance and fleet renewal, litigation in case of accidents and bugs to the system, the legal part, cost of recruiting additional participants to the network. But the thing is that this project is scalable, it's possible to scale, and the larger the network, the cheaper the cost per ride. As for the revenue streams, we want it's gonna be the fees on the DAO owned vehicles. So the vehicles that we provide for each ride, we have profit, and we are gonna receive some transaction fees on the peer-to-peer agreements for the private owned cars. So if you add your car to the network and someone else uses your car, of course the payment is peer-to-peer, is from you to the car owner, but we receive a small percentage, a small fee. As for our key partnerships, vehicle manufacturers, in order to be rapid deployment of vehicles, maintenance and upgrade, insurance companies in case of accidents, large municipalities for the system to run using their infrastructure and connect to key information systems, digital identity solution providers, so companies that are able to provide the digital identity so we can verify both the owner of the car and the users as well. We're gonna try to partnership with Ethereum, or we can just try and use Hyperledger for the smart contracts, and then some financial institutions for fiat currency interface. For example, UTrust. So with UTrust you can pay either in fiat currency or you can pay in cryptocurrency, but we can receive the settlement in the currency that we desire. So you can, if you want the settlement in dollars, you can pay directly in dollars, or you can pay in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, euros, and we will always receive the money in dollars. They do this exchange on real time. As for the timeline, 1 year to develop the smart contracts, establishing some key partnerships, agreement with the first cities, and developing critical network size. And then we will launch in Shanghai, Paris, São Paulo, Sydney, and New York during the 2nd year. This is our reference. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you like the project. So after defining this problem, we saw this more as an opportunity. Like, if we are able to create a good solution, then everything will be fine. So our solution is the DAO for sharing cars. So basically we want to allow people that need to move around to use some of the cars that are parked. So instead of they being parked, people that need to move around and don't have a car, they can just use that one. Besides that, this is also good for the owner of the car, since it adds a source of income to them, since they can make money while they are at work. So like if they park the car and they are at work, someone can use their car, so they are having two sources of income, so that's good. We aim to reduce the number of cars on the street up to a factor of 10 at least. The fact is that there's another problem. There's a lack of a system to trust any person who may want to use your car, and the lack of mechanism for a fair and cheap pricing for usage. That's why we want to implement blockchain in order to bring the most efficient solution. Because with blockchain, if we are able to verify the users in terms of online identity, then everyone, if they want to share the car and let someone use the car, they can trust them because they are verified on the blockchain. And besides that, the cost is way cheaper, and it's a peer-to-peer transaction that's only possible via blockchain.